Hey there, I'm glad you're here. My name is Chris, and this is the Seaver Shoots YouTube channel where my focus is fitness, firearms, and outdoor and preparedness gear. Today we have an unboxing video for you of a cool little product. It is an everyday carry style belt from a company called Kore Essentials. The first time I ever heard about Kore Essentials was about 2 years ago. One of my buddies started running one of their belts, and now I have a handful of friends that run these belts, but I've never tried one. I only have ever had 2 everyday carry belts, and the second one became kind of my staple belt that I wore for just about everything, and I've just never had a need to look around for another one. Kore reached out to me and asked if I would do a review on this specific belt. I sent them the info about the one that I wanted after perusing their website, and I'm super excited to try it out. For today, we're just gonna be cracking the box open and looking at the product and possibly setting it up. I'm like 90% sure that part of this involves you cutting it to the right length for you. The belt showed up in my mailbox today. This little guy is the whole package, and I know they put in a couple of extras for me as well. So let's get right into it. Let's go ahead and pop this guy open. So we've got our packing slip to begin with. They sent me one of these little belt keepers. We'll figure out how that goes on exactly in a second. This is another keeper device of some kind that I don't fully understand. Here's our hardware, which means that I was right. We do have to set this guy up, which will be an interesting little process. Here is the belt itself. It's all wrapped up. I ended up going with a gunmetal gray color. We'll set this guy aside for now and unwrap it in a second. They also included a belt hanger for me, which is kind of cool. Excited to see how I'm supposed to use that guy. And the last thing, the last option that I got to customize for was the buckle itself. So I got this cool little guy in their gunmetal gray again. So I'm all grayed out, big gray fan. If you guys watch this channel often, then you'll know green and gray is kind of where I live. And that's everything that came in the box. So here is the fun part. One of the little things that came in the package is this QR code. You're supposed to scan it, and it brings up an instructional video for you to watch on how to set your belt up. I'm gonna cut real quick and watch that video because I want to make sure that I do this right. But before I do that, I want to talk about one of my affiliates, and that is Axle Hearing Protection. These are the X-Core earbuds, and I absolutely love them. I'm just going to pull one of these guys out and pop it in just so you guys can see how ridiculously low profile this thing is. And now I am completely deaf in my left ear, but if I just hold down on the bud for a couple seconds, I hear a very nice lady say, "Sound on," and now I've got pretty good active listening in this ear, and then obviously normal listening out of this ear, and it's pretty balanced. It sounds pretty good. I'll also say from my personal experience, the sound quality when consuming media is fantastic, and the isolation from harmful sounds is honestly better than any other kind of ear pro I've ever worn, even over ear muffs. This crushes it. These things are ultra slim, very comfortable. They stay out of the way. 6 hours of playtime with media, more time if you're just using them for active listening. There is not a lot of downside to the Axle X-Core earbuds. So if you're interested in looking these guys over a little bit closer, there's a link down in the description. If you decide to buy, they're almost always doing sales on the Axle website, but if they're not, you can use Seaver Shoots as a discount code at checkout and it'll save you 15%. So just starting to watch the instructional video that they put on here, the first thing I'm going to need to do is go find a pair of scissors. Alrighty, we're gonna go ahead and slide this guy out of its wrapper. So the cool thing about these belts is that they come so long that they can fit like the widest range of waists. I think they said in the video that the tactical belt ranges from a size 24 And I guess you could technically go shorter than that if you just kept cutting it shorter, but it goes all the way up to 54. So you got a lot of room for error here. What they've done is they have, I don't know if you're gonna be able to see this on camera. Yeah, you totally can. So they have waist sizes on the back here, and all they say is add 4 to your waist size. So I am a 32. So I am going to cut this guy at 36. And before I play with that, I'm just gonna make sure, yeah, that should work just fine. I'm gonna find there's a more jagged end already. That's your cutting end. And then, I haven't mentioned it yet, but the cool thing about this belt is the ratcheting system. That's what this guy is, and it allows you to adjust the belt in 1/4 of an inch increments. So you get kind of a finer fit than you would with belt loops, just as an example. Now, I know most tactical belts are actually Velcro, and you can, you know, theoretically get an even more custom fit to your waist with a Velcro system if you do it right, but it's not very quick to adjust. And that's one of the benefits of the Kore system, is that you can quick adjust the belt to fit you pretty well within 1/4 of an inch, which I think that's pretty precise. So again, we have our 36 mark, and we're just gonna start cutting with our very basic suburban housewife buffalo check scissors. And there you have it. We have the end cut off. Now the next thing we're gonna do is we are going to thread the end that we just cut into the mouth of the buckle as far as we can get it, which, oh, I can actually, they already have set screws in here that I can just loosen. So they give you 3 extra set screws, and then there's 2 set screws already in the belt buckle that I'm just gonna loosen up here until I can get the belt underneath. Now they say that when you clamp it shut, it's probably tight enough that you don't need the set screws, but I like to go that extra mile. So we have that guy shoved in there nice and snug all the way up to the top end here. Now I'm gonna tighten down those screws. All right, set screws are all tightened down. Now all that's left to do is to clamp these teeth down into it. They said you might need to put it on a table and press down really hard, but I think I've got it just with my finger strength. I may want to take something hard though, because you can tell it's trying to bite into the belt. I think I've got it as far as it'll go, actually. Nice. And that is the belt all set up. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna dry fire test this bad boy before I actually throw it on me. Oh, that's very satisfying. Now how do we, oh, and so super cool little system here. So you'll notice that there's a little tooth in there, and then we've got a lever on the bottom side here that you just push up on. So as we go through, that little tooth that you can see right there is gonna bite into each of those, and then when we want to release, we just push up on this lever and it'll let her slide freely. Super cool. Let's throw this guy on. In order to do that, we're gonna have to take our P365X macro off. There's gonna be a review of that soon. And also, I am rocking my blue Alpha Gear belt. There will be a dedicated comparison video between these at some point. There is already a review of the blue Alpha Gear belts up on the channel. If you want to go and check that out, there will be a card up along the top for that. All right, moment of truth to see if we sized this guy correctly. Good news, everyone. I think we sized this just perfectly. So now the thing is, I can make it tighter or looser based on what I want. So we are gonna test this bad boy out by actually throwing the gun on it right out the gates. Get that guy in there, and then see, here's the thing. Oh, I really like the way that feels. Now don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with the blue Alpha Gear belt, but like as I gain and lose weight from month to month, and for me, just to talk about it a little bit, like I have a very cyclical weight gain and weight loss cycle throughout the year, depending on how I'm training. I will fluctuate from 160 pounds to 180 pounds, and that happens relatively regularly. I'd say about once every 4 months I make that transition. That's just how I do things with my training. So this is going to be nice because I will always be able to get the right size on my belt every time I put it on. So even if I fluctuated from 160 yesterday to 180 today, I'll still be able to get the right fit on here. And I just love the way it's biting into the claw of my holster in order to hide this guy. Now, lots of people talk about a really like quick and smooth draw using a Kore belt, just because you can get those tightnesses exactly how you want. So let's go ahead and do a little bit of drawing. Oh, that's really nice. I really like how snug that is. Again, I could adjust the blue Alpha Gear belt to feel this snug, but I'd have to unvelcro it and then revelcro it. Now, I will say, with how tight I have it on right now, it's a little uncomfortable sitting down. So theoretically, I should be able to reach down here, pull up on the lever, and it's just letting out as I'm sitting, and now it's got a good amount of let out. Now, if I go to stand up, we're not having any issues with printing, but if I wanted a little tighter, I just reach down here, grab the buckle, and I can cinch it up a couple more. That's really cool. I like that a lot. I think this product is really interesting. You've heard my initial thoughts. I think it's really cool, really innovative, and I'm excited to get out on the range and run it. If you're paying attention on my Instagram, then you're gonna see me doing some dry fire reps in this guy over the next couple of weeks. There will be a link down in the description to my Instagram. If you are not already following me there, head on over. I am posting daily. Guys, I hope you liked this video. If you did, I would appreciate it if you would like and subscribe. Another big thanks to Kore for sending this belt out to me. Folks, I appreciate your time and I appreciate your view. And as always, I will catch you later.